Hi guys, Maria here from Green Planet Cosmetics. In today's episode, I will cover a question I get the most. Like, what do I do that allows me to travel so much and work from abroad? Well, short answer is, I have an online shop. And then usually the second is, okay, how did you do that? Okay, so I will start today and just explain my very first steps from the idea of founding an online shop to my very first real product and the first listing on Amazon. So let's get right into that. A few years ago, I started a successful online shop on Amazon with only 5,000 euro. That's all the money I had, my initial investment. And a year later, I managed to be organically ranked number one with my products in my category. I have over 200 5-star reviews, and all that with only 5k investment and literally no knowledge whatsoever regarding opening an online shop from scratch. So how did I do that and why did I do it? So first of all, I started 2018. So in May 2018, I wanted to renew my work permit for South Africa. That's where I lived back then. And that turned out to be very, very difficult. But then talking to lawyers and stuff, we had an idea, like, okay, what can I do? One option was to just open a business abroad. So let's say in Germany, because I'm from Germany, so I can legally work there, not a problem. And then obviously, live in South Africa. So that was the idea. I was like, okay, brilliant. So how do I do that now? What can I sell? What can I do? So, and I came up with the idea because already back then I was into making my own skincare, my own sun protection, and I would always bring home products for my friends and family. So I decided, hey, I have all these contacts, I have all my recipes, I'm doing it anyway, that's fun, and I know a lot about it. So why not make the people, my future customers, pay for it? So, and that was basically the initial idea. So that was in May 2018. So I went back to Germany to renew the visa for SA. When I returned, I was basically just really focused on, okay, how can I pull that off in like 3 months? Because I only got a visitor visa for 3 months. And I'm like, okay, I have 3 months to figure it out. So what I did, I obviously first talked to my suppliers about my idea and if that's even possible. Because obviously, if I do found an online shop where I'm selling skincare products from South Africa, I need the products and I want them to be good, because obviously it's not just this fake just on paper. I wanted to really launch an online shop and see how that goes. So I talked to my suppliers in South Africa, just double checked if that's fine. That was not a problem at all, so they could easily ship everything over to me to Germany. And then I looked out on YouTube and Udemy and just checked out like several videos on how to sell on Amazon, because again, I had no idea. So I literally just got one from A to Z, literally like step by step, what do we do from opening up your account to listing your first product. And I used the fulfillment center, so the FBA program. I looked into that just to give me a quick overview, because obviously I needed to know, okay, what are the first steps I need to take? Like, what is the paperwork I need? What do I have to get from the tax office? All these numbers. And it was good that I, started quite early, because especially in Germany, it takes a lot of time. So I waited like 3 months for my tax number, my EOE number as well. This number I needed to get my products released in Germany, once they come over, and then it's paying tax, etc. And you have several numbers for several different taxes. So that is important. Definitely make sure, if you are thinking about it, make sure to double check the legal situation, just tax-wise. Unfortunately, like, I wish it was as easy to just literally start your online shop and then at the end of the year pick up that piece of paper, fill in the tax report, and that's it. But unfortunately for me in Germany, that's not how it is. So you really have to make sure to get that straight before you start. And then, because it took so long, obviously I made sure that I used my time very efficiently. Well, very German, I know. But the good thing was I couldn't do more than I did with the tax office, etc. So I had enough time to do the creative part, which was my favorite about it. So basically I started sourcing online. I went out and I looked in Europe, I looked worldwide actually, but obviously I would have loved to have a supplier from Europe who can deliver me my packaging. Partly I still get my packaging from Europe, some in Germany, some in just other European countries. And then I wanted like very special and beautiful little bottles, and I couldn't decide, which design I want. And I knew I'm definitely going to test it because it's just important. Like if I order, I don't know, 5,000, 10,000 units, I obviously want to make sure that the bottle is the correct bottle and the bottle that I want for my brand and for my product. So I got all that over. I ordered little samples. And yeah, basically I started testing them, all of them, and then also gave them to friends. And I said, hey, listen, can you just, use it and test it and tell me what you think? Do you like it? Because in the end, my customers, they have to like it too. So it's one thing if I like it, and then my customers like, oh no, actually I don't like the design because. So that's what I did a lot as well. What else? I also went to double check like copyrights and stuff with the lawyer, because I really wanted to be on the safe side legally with everything I did, and then am I allowed to put this on my packaging? Can I say this? Can I do that? So I double checked everything just to be on the safe side. When I decided for a bottle, for a nice packaging, I looked into labels, and obviously also to the legal side. Hey, what do I have to put onto that label? What is a must? What can I do? How much space and whatnot? Do I need a code? And everything, like every little detail. And you find that online basically, but it depends. It depends on the country. So there are different regulations for different countries. So I asked a friend of mine, because she's very, very good with like this creative part, and I knew she would totally get my vision for the labels I wanted, and she did. She did a fantastic job. So yeah, I have a supplier now in Europe as well for that. So and then slowly but surely everything came together. And again, I did that with like 5K, like everything. This is the money I had, and that's how I started. And I actually pulled it off. So that was, again, I started in May, and then I had my first product listed in October. So another very important step, especially if you are selling cosmetic products or skincare products, you have to get the paperwork for your products done. And usually that is done in a lab. So, I called up several laboratories and just asked, hey, can you give me a quote? And just, what do I need? What do you need? Like, what kind of sample do you need from me? What paperwork do I need from my suppliers, etc. So you want to make sure that you have all that the legal documents ready for your product as well. And then obviously as well as registering everything online. So it's quite a lot. I would say if you start your online shop and you are not heavily into skincare or cosmetic or beauty or whatnot, if that's your dream, that's your dream, and then that's what you have to do. But if really any department would, go for you, I would definitely suggest an easier one, because that is very, very strict, and it involves a lot of paperwork, legal documents, etc. So it's not the easiest. But however, it's possible. I did it, and I had no clue, when I started. And now I know quite a lot about that. And so yeah, that is that. So slowly but surely, every little piece fell together. I tested my bottles. I decided then for the bottle, for the label, and then suddenly everything comes together and you have a real product. And then I also got the products in from my supplier in South Africa directly to me. And I could then start selling. I decided to only sell on Amazon because it's very easy to get started. You don't need to sell a minimum of units, which is nice, especially when you start, because I know we all want to sell like 100 or hundreds of units the first month, but it's probably not the case. For me, I was so happy to just see that slowly but surely I sold 1, 2, 3, and at some point maybe 30 units a month, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then something happened. So, and that was because back then I didn't know that I should send an inspector over to double check every unit and to look, for errors and faultiness and whatnot. So I didn't do that. So literally everything came straight from the supplier to me, and everything looked fine. But then after selling the first few units, I got the feedback that I had to get all the bottles back because they were missing a little gasket, like a little seal. And again, like I looked at them, it was perfectly fine. I did not see it. So everything, every bottle got filled up and then shipped off. And yes, and then I received the first customer complaints, so to speak, and realized, oh shit, I cannot use a single bottle from the batch I just ordered because they're missing a little seal in the lid, and they're literally leaking, like the oil or the product was leaking out. And it was already, when it arrived at the customer's place, they sent me pictures, it was already, everything was just oily and stained. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really did almost get a heart attack. And so yeah, that was October 2018. So just a few months after, I was so happy, I did all the homework, I had all the paperwork, I was ready to go. And then that happened. And I was literally out of money. So that was a big shock. And I had a bit of a panic attack. But then what can I do? There was no plan B, there was no anything else, that was a plan. And I really had to pull that off. So yeah, how I still managed to rank my products on number one organically on Amazon, and how I now ended up with like 200 and more 5-star reviews, I will cover in the next episode. But yeah, you are in for a ride. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.